I remember when I was finally able to hit my initial financial goal of achieving a seven-figure net worth. That was back in that 2019 to 2020 timeframe. And since that time, I've changed my goals that would allow me to get through my 40s and into my 50s, and of course, through my retirement years. But as I was sitting here earlier today, I was thinking about the change in mindset that I had to make that allowed me to actually hit my initial financial goals. So in today's video, I'm gonna be going over 5 reasons why so many people fail to get wealthy and fail to hit their financial goals. So with that said, let's go ahead, jump right in. Reason number 1 is having a victim mindset. Now we all either know somebody, or that somebody could be us, that has an excuse for why we can't achieve our goals, right? It's either the person didn't like the way that we looked. They didn't like the way that we dressed. They didn't like the way that we talked. They didn't like you because you were a woman. They didn't like you because you were black. They didn't like you because of the religion that you were. You name the excuse, they've got it. And that's one of the main reasons of why they'll never get ahead financially and be able to hit their financial goals. See, if you live in a westernized country, especially in the US, there is literally nothing that can stop you from being able to hit whatever goal that you have set for yourself. I'm gonna say that one more time. If you live in a westernized country, especially in the US, there is literally nothing that can stop you from being able to hit your goals. Now, if you wanna be something like a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer, your path may be a little bit more difficult, right? You may need to go to school a little bit longer. If you're taking out student loans, it may be more expensive for you to get your degree, but there's no reason of why you can't start down the path to hitting your financial goals. Now, a lot of us will look at someone, maybe a peer or someone that we know, right? And they get started with their race towards their goals and they're halfway down the track and we're still waiting at the starting line and we haven't even had an opportunity to start yet. So what we start to do is we start comparing ourselves to each other. And that's one of the worst things that you can do. There's a reason why the phrase of comparison is the thief of joy, of why that's so popular, right? Because you never know where that person started in their race. You don't know if that person is working 2 jobs during the day and going to school at night, which allows them to actually pay their way through school so they don't have to take out student loans. And oh, by the way, they're not taking off summer vacations. They're going to school through summer, so they're able to graduate a year early. You don't know any of that. You see the outside, but you don't see the progress that someone's putting in. And on the flip side of that, you don't know if that person had parents that set them up with a college fund that allowed them to go to college debt-free and not have to worry about it. You just don't know. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. They may get to their goal faster than you're able to get to yours, but you have to run your own race. And one of the people that I follow here on YouTube, Anton Daniels, and one of the things that he always says is that you can't win if you're always running in the victim Olympics. And I really like that saying, right? If you're running in the victim Olympics and you coming up with an excuse of why you can't get ahead, there's always an excuse of why you can't win, then you'll never get ahead and you'll never be wealthy. Reason number 2 of why a lot of people will never be wealthy is they say things like, well, money's not everything. Now, when I hear people say that, on the surface, they're right. Money isn't everything. And if you make that your whole personality, then that's how people are gonna perceive you, that you feel like money is everything. And the way that I look at it is money is a tool. It's a tool to get the things that you need in order to help you have an easier life. Money allows you to do things that you can't do if you don't have it. It allows you to buy back your time. It allows you to help people out. It allows you to take care of people, especially your family. And the way that I look at it is, it's the love of money, right? If you love money, then that's a problem. And a lot of times when you hear people say, well, money's not everything, a lot of times those people, they have financial issues. They may be going through something, right? So one of the things that I realize is when people have a bad relationship with money or they're angry whenever it comes to the topic of money, they typically aren't doing so well financially. And again, that ties back in to point number 1, where they have that victim mentality and they're in that position that they're in because of someone else. It has nothing to do with the financial decisions that they've made. It's always somebody else's fault. Reason number 3 that a lot of people will not get wealthy or hit their financial goals is they live above their means. Now, in my mid to late 20s, this was absolutely an issue for me. And it wasn't until I got into my early 30s where I started to really take my financial success really seriously and really start to study on how people actually obtain wealth. And I quickly determined that I was just buying liabilities. I wasn't buying anything that would add to my net worth. And on top of that, whenever I would get a raise every single year, I increased my lifestyle. I increased my living situation. I went out, I bought new furniture, I bought new clothes, I took better vacations, I bought new cars. I mean, I did it all. And in my situation, it wasn't so much that I was living so much above my means. My issue is I wasn't utilizing that money on things that would add to my net worth. And another thing that I didn't do in my late 20s that I started to do in my early 30s is I started to budget. I started to budget every single month. I would actually get a paper and pen, and every single month I wrote out every bill that I had down to the cent. And I tracked that every single day for 6 months straight. And it wasn't until after the 6-month mark where I was able to I knew what it was every single month to the point where I didn't have to write it down. But that's how disciplined that I had to be to make sure that all of the dollars that were coming into the household had a place. They had a job. Now, when I started to get more precise with my money, where it was going every single month, and I was able to track it, that's how I was able to actually get on the path to start winning. It's the little things that you do that add up. Reason number 4 is having a scarcity mindset. So when I think about a scarcity mindset, I think about how I was in my late 20s and my early 30s, and instead of investing my money in the stock market, I was putting it in a savings account and I was gaining less than 0.5% of interest every single month. But I was secure, right? I had money in the bank and it was gaining interest every single month, but I didn't think about that. My main thing was being able to hold on to that money. I didn't grow up having everything given to me. So whenever I finally had an opportunity to earn some money and put some money into the bank, I wanted to keep it. I wanted to hold it. I didn't want to let it go because I thought if I let it go, it would never come back to me. And that was one of the biggest mistakes that I made early on in life because I missed out on so many investing opportunities because I was afraid to let the money go and do what it's supposed to do. If you use money as a tool, you use it to actually create future opportunities for yourself. And having that scarcity mindset will really hold you back from being able to take those calculated risks, do the things that you need to do that will actually help you to get to your goal. And reason number 5 that so many people never get wealthy is they don't plan and they don't set goals. Now, I can tell you again from personal experience, this was me. I didn't want to budget. I didn't want to put goals in place. I just wanted to do my own thing, right? Because it was lame to keep a budget. I didn't know how to set goals that were achievable, but would take a considerable amount of effort to actually hit it. So the goals that I was setting, they were too easy to hit. I would hit those goals and then I wouldn't see any progress. And then I would get discouraged and I would say, this doesn't work. So in order to actually make this all work, number 1, put a budget in place. Gotta put a budget in place. I don't care what anything you take away from this video is actually start tracking where your money is going. That's one of the most important things that you have to do. Number 2, get rid of that victim mentality. And that was hard. That was really hard for me to do because early on, I was one of those people that I always wanted to blame somebody. I wanted to blame somebody for why I couldn't get ahead. Until I was able to actually just shed that type of mindset, it held me back. It definitely held me back. And then lastly, having goals. Having goals that are achievable but take considerable amount of time and effort to hit will not only allow you to continue to progress along your path, but you have a sense of accomplishment. You completed something, right? I remember whenever I was working full time, had 2 kids, I was doing my MBA program in the evening, and that was really difficult, right? When you're working 50, 60 hours a week, you have a family, you got 2 kids, you've got a stressful job, and then on top of that, you've got a full course load waiting on you that you have to do in the evenings. I remember doing homework and studying all the way until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes, just so I can make sure that I was putting in the effort to get to where I wanted to be. And when I was able to finally graduate in 2015, I had such a sense of accomplishment because it was a goal that I had set. It took considerable amount of time and effort to hit. And once I hit it, I mean, it was just, it's an awesome feeling. It's an awesome feeling. If you've ever set a goal and it was something that you didn't know if you were going to be able to do, and you actually hit that goal, then you know what that feels like. So leave a comment down below. Let me know, what do you think about the 5 things that I laid out in this video? Are you having an issue with any of those 5? If so, which ones? And if you disagree with any of the things that I said in this video, I want to hear about that too. Let's talk about it, because that's how we get better. We learn from each other, we talk about it, we utilize the good, we get rid of the bad, and we keep it moving forward. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.